Welcome, if you will, to 121 hours on this lovely Ariens Apex 52, purchased just under 2 years ago, very close to 2 years ago. And it works here at this farm, which has horses and people and a barn cat, all that great stuff. And it's been a great mower for me. I was upgrading from what I had, which was a 50-inch Troy-built Mustang, which was not a bad mower, but it was 6 years old. And this place tends to be hard on mowers because the horses come out. Horses, where are they? There they are. You can see them right there. That's them. There they are. They're the ones. But horses, during the springtime, especially when the ground is still soft from the winter snows, if you had any, it tends to make the ground very soft, and then they walk around, they create these little craters. And a lot of the area that I mow is pretty rough, and the mower itself takes quite a beating. You'll notice, first of all, the ROPS, the ROPS system, which is the rollover protection system. This does not come standard on the Apex, but I had one installed before I picked it up, and my dealership did an excellent job. Like everything they've done to this mower, they've done excellent work. I'm very, very pleased with them. I'll show you who they are in just a minute. But that is, I have some hills I go sideways on, because it's the best way to mow them. And my previous zero-turn Mustang had some real issues with it. And I think a big part of that was the fact that the gas tank is located up high in one of the fenders. And in this particular mower, along with all the Ariens zero-turns and Gravely's, which is their evil twin, the gas tank is mounted underneath the seat, and so it helps, I think, keep a low center of gravity. And when you combine that with some nice wide tires and a fairly wide stance, It handles the area that I couldn't mow with the zero turn before very, very effectively. Very happy about that. And there's just so many things about this mower that have turned out to be just great. And one of them is, I think one of the most important things about your mower is keeping it clean as far as the belt system is concerned. And you'll see this on a lot of mowers now. Oops, sorry, camera shadow from hell. You'll see this on a lot of mowers nowadays, but the easy access to the belts, as you can see after 121 hours, everything looks fine. Everything's doing well. And I have had no trouble whatsoever with the mowing deck. It's been just fine, just fine. So now let me show you that gas tank. If I can get this done with one hand. Yeah, there we go. All right, there's our gas tank underneath where it does the most good weight-wise. And there's our tiny little battery, which I've had zero trouble with also. It doesn't have any trouble. It's small, but it has the power necessary to crank this engine. And this being a Kawasaki, your FR691V, it has a compression release when you start it, so that makes it easier for it to start, which requires less overall push by the battery when you're first starting it. And I think that's possibly one reason why they can go with a smaller battery. But the engine itself has been great. I changed the oil. Here's an interesting thing. I've seen a lot of tuber of Ubers that have said, 8 hours, 10 hours, you better change that oil on your new mower. Well, no. There's nothing in the owner's manual that says do that anymore. There was once upon a time, but now there isn't. And the fact of the matter is, I talked to Kawasaki about this, and they said, nah, you can, due to our production standards nowadays, you can go right ahead and wait till your first service interval, which I think is 100 hours, something like that. Well, that seems like too much to me. And I think 8 hours is way too little because you have to give everything time to run in. And any bits of metal or anything else that you'll have due to the fact that it's a new engine and just came out of the factory and all, they have to have time to get down into the oil pan. So that first oil change, which is the most important, has a chance to do its job as far as removing all that stuff. So I changed it after a year of use, which is about 50 hours or so. And I put synthetic in it, and in the oil change procedure's pretty easy. It's not the easiest access to the oil filter I've ever seen before, but it's good. I got to it, so it's not a problem. The other options, I was talking about options earlier. I got these beautiful lights. These things are great. I use them when it gets dark, but they help quite a bit, especially putting it in the shed at night and things. That's a very worthwhile thing to have on here. Now the big thing I did, which was expensive, but I mentioned before how rough it can be around here because of the potholes. Well, what you're looking at is the optional front suspension on it. And essentially what it is you have a hinged attachment to your front tires with a grommet underneath, a rubber grommet, so it kind of floats on that and then can move up and down with a little bit of travel to absorb some of the impacts. I like that so much better than having a suspended chassis where the rider sits, that is completely suspended. But the rest of the vehicle, or in this case the mower, takes quite a beating. This way it takes a little bit of the nastiness out of it for the entire chassis, which hopefully will transfer into longer life. But I'll show you some stuff. I'll show you some mowing things. But overall, like I said, after 121 hours, I hadn't had to do anything to it. I took it in to the shop in 100 hours and had the hydraulics. Both sides are ZTX, ZLT, whatever. They're Hydro Gear 3100s. And I had them change. I had the shop do that as far as my initial transmission service, because I know they do a great job, and they did. And it's something I don't have to worry about for another 200 hours or something like that. And I may do the next one, but who knows? Who knows in this crazy world? But anyway, let me, if I may, these are the guys. Can you see that? God, this gimbal's got a mind of its own. There we go. It's Yankee Sales and Service in Woodstock, Connecticut. And these guys took real good care of me. I've since bought another zero turn for our house, a smaller version of this, if you want. It's an HD, what is it? No, it's a Icon HD, that's what it is. A little 42-inch. And it too has been, I may do something on that after a while, but it has been flawless as well. I haven't had any problems with it whatsoever. Oh my goodness, will you look at this? My Ariens Apex has had a baby. Oh, it's so cute. Well, it's not exactly a baby, but I also happen to own a smaller version of the Apex, if you will. It's just another part of their zero-turn line. And this is an Icon XD, and of course XD stands for Extra Doggy. Well, I don't know what it actually stands for, but this is a 42-inch as opposed to the 52-inch mowing swath from my Apex. And this is a terrific little mower. It's all about how many acres you need to mow. And in this case, gosh, I'd say maybe 1.2 acres or so. And it's perfect for that. It does a really, really good job for that. And I'm real happy with it. I've only had it about a year, and let's have a look here. 24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours on the engine. Just a baby. It's just a baby. But it has, instead of the Kawasaki 691, it has an 600, or these are both part of the FR family. And they're not their super heavy duty industrial type engines, but they're very, very good engines. Excellent reputation, very low maintenance, very good power. I think, although I'm not positive, but I believe that the new version of this has a 651 V-twin engine, which is a little bit more powerful, but I'm very happy. For what I use this for, it's perfect. And it even gets fairly decent mileage, which is always good. I'm telling you, it's very important. And what else can I tell you? Oh, here's a fun thing. I find the seat to be incredibly comfortable. I actually find this seat, even though it's not suspended the way the one in the Apex is, I find the seat itself to be even more comfortable. It's just something about it. There's a car back in the, I want to say the 2000 aughts, maybe a little further along, the Nissan Maxima had these fantastic seats in it. And this seat kind of reminds me of that as far as the level of comfort. But it has, what else can I tell you? It's the mowing deck is foot raised and lowered, just like the Apex. Unlike the Apex, it has a little bit different system. You elevate it with your foot, and then you have this little dial. Right, and that turns it on. I think it's 16 different positions, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 4.5 inches. And it has the transaxles are not serviceable the way the Apex transaxles are, but they work great, you know. you still get that zero turn joy. And one adjustment I had to make is with this smaller deck, with the 42-inch deck, it's kind of mounted further aft, at least it seems that way to me. And so you have to kind of get used to the fact that when you're doing your zero turning around obstacles like trees and things, you turn a little differently. It's just a matter of just getting used to it. But I thought that was kind of neat that it has its own personality. It's growing. Someday it'll be an Apex. Or it may just grow into an Icon XD52 itself. I think it goes all the way up to 60 maybe? I don't know. You'll have to see your Ariens dealer. But very happy with this one too. So I'm very fortunate. I have 2 orange machines to take care of my lawn needs. I tell you, it's good. You have to deal with some of this stuff. Sliding, baby. And I don't want to look hurt after I hit my one must guard against having too much fun mowing one's ground. Oh, ow, oh, ow. These tracks here come. Pickup trucks really.
Gesanke wollen, es empfiehlt eine